There's not another book that we can say with an unshakable doubt that the Master Teacher wrote it and constituted for the way that he wanted us to conduct our families. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with the UNM Constitution and the AEO Constitution. There's nothing there's no constitutions or preambles or protocols that came forward from that nation that they can present to the defenders of the Master Teacher's works that we can respect. I mean, it's just unrespectable.
Yeah.
It's just unrespectable, and this is why there's all this confusion. Because someone like me that really has Malachi in my heart, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, this should be so easy. People should just shut up and like, you know what? I don't even know if that really did happen. Because a lot of people don't know that when they was writing letters, they were getting transferred down to Georgia, and people was reading them, using the Master Teacher's handwriting and writing letters, and the people said, oh, I got a letter from Master Teacher. He told me to do this. Nah, they was telling you to do this so they can get your money. Because that's what it was all about, that next joint that was going to get your bread. We dealing with hood niggas and people who used to be Christians that just started reading the Nuwapian books, you know what I'm saying, and scrolls and shit, and they said there was Nuwapian. That's not Nuwapian.
Exactly.
The real Nuwapians are here to defend the Master Teacher's works. And we're not bringing nothing that anybody can say that's heresy that you can't say, well, I don't even know if the Master Teacher did that or not. If you have to question anything and have to say, well, yeah, nah, he was doing this when he came from the bank, like, or whatever, man, then you just in the way. Now people gonna be mad at me because I see Tobin, right? I see the Yahweh, the agreeable and disagreeable. I see the Pythagoras and the people who are like, man, I ain't with that, right? So now we know the alchemy's there. But what unifies the whole family is the middle right? Yahoo, right? So now who, right? The life force, right? That breath of energy that we're supposed to be breathing on that same tone, 144 octave, right? D scale, right? That green light, it's supposed to bring us back circumscribed around the axis. And these are these different tones that our elders would probably hear me speaking right now. They would be like, oh, yeah, that's like the Nintendo of the Ansar. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of them old brands. They be like, yeah, nah, that was one of them old brand joints right there. And that's the shit that kept us all on the same path. It's this new innovative stuff that's keeping us off the path that we have to question whether or not we should do it.
Yeah.
And I think the elders and people are going to have to hear that. They're going to have to hear it, man. Like, look, man, we're tired of arguing about all that shit. And we're tired of people who just want to wear crowns in their head and look like Egyptians and go walk around Walmart looking like fools. If we owned our own land and we could walk around and dress the way we want, I'm tired of motherfuckers trying to change the language every week. Like we gonna switch every week. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep up with your dumb ass. We sticking with what was in the damn the Master Guide. That's it. The red and blue book. Like everything's back to the basics.
Exactly.
That's what Malachi told me. You know what I mean? I can't speak for everybody. And the people who know me know, you know what I'm saying, what I stand on anyway. So I'm just expressing it as I can on our Master Teacher's birthday, June 26th. And my birthday coming up June 28th. I'm heading up Brooklyn for the Zed Festival because that's supposed to be the headquarters. But people have neglected it, right? The Master's gone, and they fell asleep. And then they don't know when the Master comes back for judgment because they don't even, there's so much to this doctrine. And for people who ain't been around, they're just really guessing.
Yeah, it's so detailed and intricate. Like they, like that's why it says it's beyond your comprehension right now. And then it tells them in chapter 1 of the Holy Tablets to be patient. It's something that hasn't been formed yet. It's the unformed becoming the formed. But they don't realize it's still in the process. It's always.
They don't realize that it's Judgment Day. They didn't realize that all them pictures with them little snotty-nosed kids that was in them books will come back to eat your ass alive for the shit that you said. And the Master Teacher knew it. That's why he led them into a brick wall, because he knew one day that even if enough of us just got together, or just a few of us, stood on what we knew as the actual fact, or not actual fact, unshakable fact, which is the actual fact, right? That will be over.
Exactly, yeah.
So we don't need people to dictate what we think the Master Teacher wants us to do. We know exactly what he wants us to do.
Yeah,
he wants us to follow the family guide so we can conduct our families in the same way. He wants us to follow the UN Constitution and buy land and give on to Caesar and render all to Caesar what is his, because all this sideways, we own the land, Morris, UCC bullshit they pushing is going to get niggas' wigs pushed back again. We buy the shit. We follow Caesar's rule. We give him his little fucking bread. We get good electricity and pay for the comfort not to deal with that fucking headache. Just like the white people do, right? I just pay for the comfort not to see you niggas. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to just pay for the comfort not to be dealt with. All that cutting corner shit, we learned from that example already. Right? We already did that. We learned, okay, that's over. We're done with that. But we do want to be doing things the way that we feel they should be done. And it's going to take consolidated resources, the aiding naturally in spirit, which means that even if you go to work 8 hours a day, you still got to do work for our nation. That's what that means. You can't just go to work 8 hours a day and then lay the fuck up and then call yourself a Nuwapu. That's not what Nuwapu is about. We're building here and perpetuating the good work, right, which is to initiate the new city. Because it's in our minds, and we're the closest ones to the realization of that fact, because they're still clapping and waiting for Jesus, right? Who we know is Joshua Bar Hadi.
On it.
Go ahead.
We the ones on it.
You said the one. You said the what? One more time.
Yeah, I was like, we beyond close. We on it. We precise. We on point.
No, I'm not al-alim. I mean, that's the next thing. People think that just because you represent the Wapo, you got to know every damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, man,
no, what I'm really about the building we about to do, like.
Oh, well, I play my role pretty damn good. So when it comes to execute what we got to do, then I'm definitely going to uphold, Cause,
I mean, that's what makes us stand out. Like, we taking the science and applying it. That's what be the difference between what I've been seeing far as my journey. Because I came in from outside the whole, the whole journey. On a short path, pretty much through all the schools and stuff like that. But even still, I went back and, took them schools as an autodidact myself. So I self-taught myself pretty much everything that he, all through all those schools he, put together, whatever all the elders put together.
Well, that's why I deal with you, you know what I'm saying? Because this was a part of our responsibility, you know what I'm saying? Our responsibility was and that's why it says that we came not to rule, we came to serve, right?
Serve, yeah. Because
we actually came here to serve, but the best servants are the best rulers because they serve you while they're using the resources that was bestowed upon them by the source for the benefit of all peoples. And that's why tyrannical leaders, and I can mention a couple names, but I'd rather they all just come into the same room and we can debate them at the same time for that bullshit they was on. But that day will come. Yeah. But for people with tyrannical approaches in their rulership is why there's a failed leadership within the black community. Because I'm not following that nigga down the street. Straight up. Because everything that people are talking about is to esteem themselves, esteem their character, and their persona they're trying to portray, and they're trying to extract some type of commerce note from you. We don't want nothing from you. All we're saying is if you're an electrician, do the electricity for, utilize your resources for the people and benefit at the same time with your people. Because the specialist is what matters. It doesn't matter what the hell I can do. I'm good at like one or two things real good. You know what I mean? But there's 1,000 other things that I'm real bad at. So the people who specialize in those things, those are the ones we need to step forward and to let them know, like, look, what you have to offer is important. And this is the type of leadership that has to be presented to the people in order for us to get somewhere, is the people have to realize that they are the saviors. I met a brother that can provide free energy. I'm like, bruh, do you know how, you can save us. You know what I'm saying? Like everything I knew kind of became minuscule in the fact that if he could provide free energy for a whole community, that meant a lot more than me maybe help organize people to be able to, come forward for this at the capacity that we may need them to come forward to. So as I know my responsibility, I also know that there's other people's responsibilities that are right, that are definitely much needed, man. Like real talk. This is going to be a phenomenal effort to get our brothers and sisters to realize that what we're talking about is the ending of everything that they've been talking about. Basically, we're talking about the end result of everything that you and the rest of our past leaders have spoken about, which is building a nation. The only difference is we know that we need people who really know how to drill shit and tie shit down and bolt and cement and make some shit happen, as opposed to just people talking about rhetoric and philosophy. No, we need people who can climb roofs.
Worker bees. We need worker bees in the beehive.
That's the day we're on right now. So then that's what. So what ends up happening? Another person says, "We know that already." Why we on right? That's what happens. So we know that already.
Why?
No, the difference is I will do it. So all I'm saying is I connect with people who do stuff in real life all the time. It's just very few of them. The people who look like they want to do some shit, they're not in it to do nothing. They want to sell more books and propaganda. So and there's only, I commend the brother Polite for what he's doing in his example too, though, because he does a lot of stuff that he doesn't get credit for that he does. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff with the jails, and there's a lot of stuff, and I commend that brother a lot. I definitely give brother Polite, I'm over at Senatum Ray, props on the air because he represents Pops in a decent way, et cetera, et cetera. And I got mad respect for that young brother. Actually, he's my peer. Actually, I know a lot more about the brother Polite that will come up a lot later, but we actually came off the chain gang together because, he I think his birthday's in August, mine's in June, but we both came in the same year. Vortex opened 1983. Yeah, which is a whole other story.
Yeah.
But Malachi found effect on a lot of them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I thought they out here trying to slander him too, like pretty much, because is pretty much a lot of jealousy going on because a lot of people that ain't doing nothing, they mad, and the people that are really trying to take steps as far as with building something.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna give a brother Polite, new city, new covenant, everything new. Let him hate. You know what I'm saying?
We all gonna link up because that's what we gotta do. Like that's what
Polite gets props on this radio show because he always expresses what Malachi means to me. You know what I'm saying? He comes out and seen him articulate what the man has done for him on many different occasions, and still Nuwapians will be like, man, he ain't Nuwapian. No, he just ain't like you because you ain't Nuwapian. He is Nuwapian. They don't even know what that brand is. Well, I definitely commend him, brother. And, I definitely commend him, brother, for his works. And I commend him. There's a lot of other people, too, that, represent the Master Teacher's work on a day-to-day basis, too, a lot of brothers. And we're building, but the day has to come where that Nazarene spirit is going to make us build again. You know what I'm saying? Because beyond all the rhetoric and all the, the stuff that that we all agree on, et cetera, it's definitely going to be contingent upon us putting all our differences aside and just building and sacrificing our day-to-day lives to do the right thing. As the Master Teacher sacrificed for us, it was easy for him to sacrifice his time, his kids, his family. He could have had like a Isley Brother career. He didn't have to deal with niggers. Niggers, like that's really how he felt. He was like, damn, I'm dying for these people and they acting like niggas. I'm talking about beyond, the fluff that people see, like, oh, they love Pops, all the pictures with people around them. A lot of niggas was grimy and hated Pops, but they were still in the pictures. That's what people don't realize. They thought everybody around them, I had to realize it because my mom, Jalila, right, and I got an auntie, Kalika, right, because these are some of the names that came out with. And her children, we all grew up in the jump together, too. And Sharif, which is Kalika's husband. So then when we grew up, in my mind, I always knew him as the real Messiah because he done emulated all that in our minds from the beginning. So when I started hearing how some of, my aunt's children was talking, I was like, damn, you don't know who this man is? Like, I was baffled because I thought everybody had the same vision in their mind that I had until I realized, damn, they don't really look at this man the same way I do. And they don't even know who he is, even though they were with him. So now that brings out a lot of things. You got people who were with him that didn't know him. You got people who never saw him and know him. And you got people who never saw him and talk like they know him and don't really know him. I mean, look how many, you know what I'm saying? And then you got the graduates, the people who have all the degrees and all the doctrines and some of Pop's clothes and all the propaganda and paraphernalia and patches and shit. They just sit in the